Hey, everybody. I hope you're doing well. I know that this is a busy time of the year and everybody's probably running around like crazy, but I wanted to share with you something fun today. I was approached by a couple of guys that have started a new Forex trading podcast, and it's called Not Another Trading Pod. Very cute. Now, these guys, Sam and Josh, are both really nice guys, super cool. And they approached me and, believe it or not, wanted to interview little old me. So I have the interview here, but I'd like to encourage you all, check out their YouTube channel. They've got a lot of good podcasts about trading in general and also a lot specifically for no-nonsense Forex. So I hope you enjoy the interview.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Not Another Trading Pod, although this one is not an episode. It is number 2 of our interviews.
The interviews. They get a bit of respite from listening to us just babbling on the whole time, you know?
They get to listen to someone else, and this guest I'm super excited about.
Yeah, me too, mate, actually.
Can I get it on an announcer?
Go on.
So the guest we have on today goes by the name of JJTrader. Now, JJTrader is over in America.
We believe.
You said Canada, but we're going to find out once
we're going to find out. Yeah.
JJTrader started up a YouTube channel not long ago, and she tested and put together an algorithm as part of the no-nonsense Forex method. Mm-hmm. Now, as far as what you may think a Forex trader is, I believe she's like complete opposite.
She's not it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I absolutely admire the fact that she put herself out there, which is a brave thing to do for anything. Mm-hmm. Nothing more so than trading.
Oh, God, yeah.
And even though her first algorithm didn't quite go to plan in the end and didn't meet the success requirements that she had for herself, I learned so much just from watching her.
Yeah. It's so refreshing, so lovely to see. She puts everything out there on her YouTube channel, JJTrader. Like, we'll put the links in the description and stuff like that. Go and follow her, go and subscribe to her channel. It's just great stuff. She puts everything out there in the world, you know, kind of all the mistakes she makes, all the good things she does some really good stuff, works hard, she's consistent. And that's what we're all about. We just love supporting people and getting people on, you know, that follow that kind of model, you know. It's lovely.
And she enjoys herself.
Yeah.
That's the best thing. It feels like she really enjoys what she's doing. So,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, without further ado,
let's get her on.
Let's get her on. Let's get chatting. I hope you enjoy the interview as much as we're going to. JJTrader, how are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
We're doing real good. It's great
to
have you on board for an interview. How's your week going?
Week's going well. Busy at work. Not so busy trading. Haven't had a lot of trades this week, but that's okay. You know, it's the end of the year.
Yeah, sometimes no trade's probably good trading. You know, sometimes best to be honest. I've been the same. I think I've had a couple of trades this week on like the Aussie CAD. I think it was one of them came good, but hey, listen, thank you for joining us for an interview. We're really excited to get you on the show. I've got plenty to talk about. So I guess the way we normally start is just tell us a little bit about yourself and your trading journey up to now. Just how did you get started?
Okay, well, just a little bit about me. I am married my high school sweetheart, literally. We started dating in high school. We dated for 8 years. And then we finally got married, and we just celebrated our 36th wedding anniversary this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I consider that a major accomplishment.
Absolutely.
I have 3 boys. They're all grown now. My youngest just joined the Marines, and my oldest was in the Army, and he's out now doing security, and my other son is in food safety. So very proud of them.
Yeah, so that's good. Proper family woman.
Yes, and working full time still. Luckily, I'm able to work from home though, so that works out well these days anyway.
That sets the scene for this interview really well, because one of the big reasons we wanted to talk to you is obviously we're going to go onto your YouTube video a bit later on. But I think a big one for us is so often now we listen to interviews and someone's got some kind of finance major from Harvard who built rockets and went into Forex and did macroeconomics and all that. But we've got someone that's really down to earth, like just your, if you don't mind me saying, but just like you're not average, but just your normal kind of trader that's having a go at this Forex game, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't even have a background in finance, or no degrees in finance. My work experience is in human resources, so it's not that close. I've been interested though in trading for several years. I started actually in options trading, stock options, and I did that for a little while, and it was okay. It didn't move that fast, and so I think I just got busy and kids were younger at that time, and I let everything kind of go. And then I got back in about a year and a half ago, I guess, maybe even 2 years now, into Forex. And I've been trading Forex for a while, but it wasn't until I really ran into VP, no nonsense Forex, that I really kind of got re-energized and jumping back in.
Yeah, so it's weird that, isn't it? Sorry, Sam. I always find it fascinating. Sort of everyone comes at this trading thing from different angles. So, like Sam will say he got, started in penny stocks. He was saying he got started in options of all things. And it's like, I just find it fascinating how, how people sort of pick up stuff and they go, oh, I'll have a go at this and just go from there. So that's fascinating.
I can't even remember exactly what got me into the options. I believe it was going to some seminar, and then having somebody talk about it and kind of going, oh, maybe I could do that. I'm going to try that.
I feel like seminars are a lot bigger in America than what they are in the UK.
Could be.
I don't know. Josh, do we get many? I mean, I guess we do have them here as well, but I think they're quite an American thing going to...
The problem with that is it doesn't work on British people because we basically just are so dry and skeptical that it's like you just get heckled off the screen, off the stage, basically. They'd be like, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about, throw people off and all that sort of stuff. So we haven't got that same sort of like enthusiasm and natural born enthusiasm that seems to, work in those sort of environments. But yeah, no, so I haven't seen any over here really.
No, I haven't.
Well, I have seen several actually, because of course I'm in talent development, I'm in human resources. And so learning is kind of my thing. And I think it's just more about being curious. Hey, what else is out there? What don't I know about? What can I learn about? So
tell me,
I like them.
When it comes to, so you said that you trade a little bit of, you started to look into trading Forex, and then you found VP. So I guess before we go into no nonsense Forex, what was your first experiences with Forex? What was it that you were learning?
I think. Gosh, I'm trying to remember now. I think I might have taken another seminar. I don't know.
I love that.
There's a lot of people out there that want to sell you, education and sell you things. And they'll do a lot of kind of like free things to kind of get your feet wet. And I found that if I took the free thing, then I could take it and really delve into it myself and really get pretty far without having to actually pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. I just like to take concepts and then mold them into my own thing. It's kind of like, like all those cheat sheets and stuff that I've done. It's just my way of taking what I've learned and kind of making it fit for me. So it was probably another one of those.
I started off, like I said, I started off in penny stocks, but when I first came across to Forex, I was a Fibonacci with a moving average guy.
No.
It was the moving average crossover, put a Fibonacci on it.
I'll tell you, I was very much into support and like resistance.
Yeah. And
buy and sell zones, that was kind of where I was focusing. And I did, it's what's really kind of funny is when I found VP, and I hope people that watch your podcast know who VP is from No Nonsense Forex, but when I found his videos, it's like, oh, yes, that makes sense. And I already do that. So some of the things like the baseline and, kind of combining certain indicators together were things that I was already doing. And that's why it just like made so much sense to me. I'm like, okay, this is how to take some aspects of what I'm already doing and really put it into a package, put a little red bow on top.
So JJ, look, what's the end goal with you with all this sort of stuff? Is there any specifics in mind, or is it just you're just exploring and having fun? Where are you at with it?
I think that up until maybe about the end of like a year ago, it was just exploring and having fun. I just have to keep this old ticker moving so that I don't get too stale. But actually, once I kind of started really studying VP, it hit me that I don't have that many more years to go until I hopefully can retire. And I'd love to have a little supplemental income at that point. Mm-hmm. And I think that Forex could provide that. I'm not greedy. I'm not looking to double my account or make hundreds of thousands of dollars. I would just love to have extra income on a consistent basis coming in when I don't have my salary anymore and I'm on retirement money. I don't have any grand illusions of joining a prop firm or working for a company like that because honestly, I think that would be too much pressure.
Yeah.
I just want to really perfect this, get better and help anybody along the way that I can.
Hey, I think that's fair enough. I completely get it. I think it's similar for me at the minute. It's a great supplemental income. Yeah. The good thing with me, lucky thing for me and Josh being in the UK is our trading hour is 9:30 till 10 p.m. So you can have your normal job during the day, and then we get to trade like late at night, which isn't so bad. But so going into a bit more, if No Nonsense Forex was to fail for you, you have a pretty good YouTube channel going on.
Oh my gosh.
I love it. I followed your YouTube channel. I think I followed it pretty much from the start.
Yeah, me
really? Oh, yeah. How nice is that?
I remember. I
feel like I'm talking to an old friend then.
Yeah, I feel like I've been with you from the start. But I want to get into it a little bit with you in the YouTube channel because the thing is with trading, the thing is anything, putting yourself out there on the internet is quite a big step, especially in this day and age when things are just a tweet away. People can put, so many trolls. There's people want to call you out and stuff. What was the motivation for you to take your trading journey and put it out on a platform like YouTube?
So I had gotten to the point where I had finished everything, all the VP videos and things, and I had been really back testing a lot of things. And I was finally at a point where I had put something together that I thought could be viable. According to my back tests, it looked promising. So I thought, okay, next step, I'm going to forward test it. And then I thought, well, am I just going to sit here in my little room by myself and do this every day? Because I know me. And it's kind of like, I'm human. I find it very hard sometimes to follow all the rules. And I still do. I am by no means a perfect, no-nonsense Forex trader. But I keep working on it. And I just thought to myself, you know what? I'm just going to start videotaping what I do and talk about why I'm doing it. Honestly, guys, the furthest thing from my mind was starting a YouTube channel and having a bunch of subscribers. I thought, well, maybe somebody will stumble on it and maybe we could get a little relationship or community going. And all of a sudden it's like, whoa, what's going on here? And I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong. It's just that it was just so far outside of what I was really anticipating. I set it up for accountability. That's really my motivation. I figured if I'm going to do this and I'm going to go on video and tell people why I'm doing it, I better darn well follow the rules as much as I can. And if I don't, I know that people are going to call me out.
Yeah.
And they do.
No, I think it's to be absolutely commended, because like Sam and I were talking about it the other day. We just think that you as a person and how you've approached it and what you've done on it is so refreshing and so lovely to see, and your sort of genuine nature and the genuineness of what you're actually trying to do, and just the fact that it is just accountability. You're not trying to show off. You're not trying to, do whatever. It's really lovely to see. And look, that is shown by the amount of people that want to tune in and watch you, It's
funny because I really knew nothing about YouTube at first, other than hit the little upload button, And what I didn't realize, though, is YouTube runs these algorithms in the background, and depending on what people search for and what you might have in your title, or maybe you have on a tag for your video, these things start popping up. So people that I don't know, people that don't know me, will see these things come up, and they'll be like, oh, what is that? Who's this old lady here thinking she could do Forex? I think I'll check that out.
No, I love it. I think it's great. So what would you say, what's the best thing about having a YouTube channel where you're documenting your trading? What's good for you? The community side of things?
It is, absolutely. I mean, this was such a gift that one of the things that was so, again, not negative. Negative is not a good word. But one of the drawbacks to trading Forex is that nobody I know had any idea what on earth I was talking about. Literally, I'd say to my husband, "Oh, I'm in a trade. I'm up 100 pips," and he'd be like, well, "What does that mean? How much money is that? What is that?" It's like, oh, or oh, you're going down. Why don't you get out? And I'm like, no. So it's very hard to share that passion and that enthusiasm with people that just don't really get it or really care to, because Forex is definitely not for everybody. And so by doing this channel, all of a sudden people would comment and interact with me, and I do try to answer every single comment as best I can. I mean, it's gotten much larger than I thought it would, but I try, because I feel as though I look at everybody like a friend. It's like, okay, what do you think? What's your question? Let me do the best I can, But what I think is interesting too is that some people ask me questions like I'm some kind of expert, and I try to make that very clear. I am no expert. I am learning just like everybody else, and I'm just putting myself out there because, again, it works for me. And now look at this great benefit that I got of this wonderful community.
Yeah. Talking to very handsome Englishman from over in the UK. That's it. True.
Do JJ, do you consume a lot of material on YouTube then? Do you watch a lot of stuff on there? Is that your main resource, I guess?
I think it is, probably for Forex, especially because they're just. I'm a very visual person, and I learn a lot through video as opposed to reading.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, there's academics out there that they can read a book and they can get it in here and put it into practice. And I like to see things. I like to have things explained to me. And so I do. But I don't consume as much anymore, because I don't want to get myself too confused. I'm really trying to really push through the no-nonsense way, the method. And there's a lot out there that it's totally, counter to that. And it makes sense too. And, everybody's different. And there's people that, like you said, could use that Fibonacci, retracement and be very, very successful. I just found, no, I'm not, my mind doesn't quite work like that. So I'm going to just try to stick with what I know. And every once in a while, of course, I'll get things pop up and I'll be curious and I'll go look. And I will say there's several people in the Discord group that I'm in that have videos like you guys too, that I do enjoy going out and watching those videos.
Good, so. Thank you. Well, we like YouTube as well because Sam and I can't read either, so you know it's the only thing we could do to watch videos. So no, I think look, one thing that I think this is a message that we often get told off for just talking about no nonsense Forex and just focusing on that and whatever it is, but from my perspective, and I think this is why Sam and I agree so wholeheartedly on a lot of stuff, is that to us, even if you don't choose to adopt that as your methodology, I think what it does is it allows you to look at other things really critically and really simply. And it's like, okay, well, when the day comes that I see someone telling me a different method that I can look at critically through the eyes of all these other things that I've learned from all these methodologies, then I will look at that and perhaps go ahead with that. But it just hasn't happened for me so far. And no nonsense is the only one that really makes sense to me. So why wouldn't you, just commit to it almost?
I think it's more about the discipline too. Yeah. There's so many other systems and things out there that are very subjective in nature, and there's a lot of skill that's really needed to really eyeball things. And no nonsense is about its rules and it's being consistent. And honestly, I think as long as you don't have really, really terrible indicators, I mean, you put indicators and you be consistent, you're going to come out ahead, but that's the hard part. The hard part's not finding the indicators. The hard part is following the rules and being consistent. And I still struggle with that.
We're the problem. All the squidgy bit behind the keyboard is the problem, isn't it?
Yes.
We are the people that make the mistakes. It's not it's not the principle or the methodology. And I think that's something that, again, 100%. When I sort of started learning how, delving into actual trading, I didn't know anything, but I knew one thing, and it's that I wasn't physically geared up psychologically to be rational and considered, consistent. Every day I'll have a rubbish day at work and I'll go, oh, bloody hell, I'm never going to work. Other days I'm Superman, and it's like that is not conducive to actually someone who has to use their own opinion and judgment or whatever. And interestingly enough, did you watch VP's video around women traders, female traders?
I did.
Yeah. So true, isn't it?
And I was like,
so true. all of us idiots running around pretending we're great and all this showing off everything. It's just completely counterintuitive to actually what it should kind of be. And I said this to my girlfriend. I said she should get into it and do it because she'll be a lot better than me.
Well, plus she'd have you as a mentor, which would be great.
No, she doesn't want that. She doesn't want that. She doesn't want that.
Look at Sam.
No, I'm only saying that because Josh is my mentor. I phone Josh up and get talks from Josh because I have meltdowns all the time when it comes to my trade, and he has to talk me back off it. I'm
not his mentor. I'm his counselor.
He's my counselor. Yeah. Which is a good point. Like you said, with your community and stuff that you've built for your YouTube channel, that kind of is how the Not Another Trading Pod came about. Is me and Josh I love talking Forex, but like you go out with your friends on a Friday, Saturday night, or during the week, or whatever, and you start talking about pips and exit signals and baselines, and people are like, "What are you talking about?" And the conversation just stops. Whereas when you build a community, even now with our YouTube show, that's not really that big at the minute, but we're already getting people messaging us, joining the Discord, and just want to talk about this stuff and hopefully just get a little bit better and a bit more insight from it, which is great, really.
Absolutely, yeah.
Let's go back to a little bit about your no-nonsense Forex algorithm. So obviously I followed your channel from the start, like I said, so I know the first one didn't quite live up to your expectation. So talk to me about that. Did you go for it has 6 months to make 6%, or is it 12%? What is it? 6 months, 6%?
1% a month.
1%. Yeah. So what did you kind of what was your baseline for your algo? How did you want it to prove?
Well, and I'm sorry, I don't have the data in front of me, but like I said, when I back tested that first algo, it seemed to do pretty well. But honestly, I don't think I back tested it as fully as I should have.
Mm.
And, you know, in the meantime, I have a new algo now that I'm forward testing, and I took a break in the middle and really put down, like in my mind, a real strict process.
Yeah.
So I think that was one of the biggest things is I back tested it and I got some good results. I thought, oh, let's go for it, you know. So that was one of the issues. The other issue is I kept flipping around. It's kind of like, oh, let's use this as our C1 today, or oh, we're getting a signal over here. Maybe I should go in on that signal, which was really my C2. And it was almost like not even keeping it straight in my own mind. So how on earth, you know, could anybody else follow this? So there's a lot of learning and a lot of, you know, kind of growth. And honestly, that only comes from doing it.
Yeah.
I don't think you can learn that. I mean, because you get it up here. You're like, oh yeah, you have to be disciplined. You have to be consistent. You can't get out early. You have to follow that 1 ATI rule. It's like, okay, yeah, I got it. I can take a test. I'll score 100. But when I sit down to do it, it's like, ooh.
Thing is, you're absolutely preaching the choir. We had this chat with Andrew Murray on our last interview as well, and it's like the whole paralysis by analysis thing as well. So. Yeah. You know, you can so easily get so stuck being back testing everything that you don't go forward with it. And I know from my experiences, I got my algo up together and it was just never enough to move forward with. I always wanted more data on it. And eventually I kind of started to burn myself out. I started to lose a little bit of interest. And I think, Josh, you said, like, I put a post up on the Discord and be like, just forward test something.
Yeah.
Get it going.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't until I started doing the forward test, and we were having this conversation just before we jumped onto this interview, that, you know, a month in, I climbed up 7% real quick, and then I took some big losses one after the other. And I had to adjust just a little tweak on the settings because I realized that the way it behaves in real time is a lot different to how you handle something that you see in a back test.
It's obvious when you can see it play out, isn't it?
When it's playing out in front of you. And of course, playing out in front of you, it's random market data that it's being played off of. In a back test, you feel like you can go through the drawdown stages because you can see the end result, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, that totally makes sense. There's a different psychology in back testing than forward testing. Absolutely. You know, back testing, it's like, they're just numbers. Minus 60, up 120, you know, they're just numbers. And all you're interested in is that final number at the end. You know, did I hit 60% or better win rate? You know, did I have a profit factor of 1.3 or better? You know, these different metrics that you're looking for. But the process itself is less emotional than when you're sitting there forward testing. It's like, ooh, if I let this go all the way down to my stop loss, I'm going to be at like $200, you know?
Yeah. No, absolutely. So, like I said, the first time you did your forward test on you, so it didn't reach your expectations. You took a break. Like for those people that are out there right now that maybe have just started forward testing their first algo, they're 3, 4, 5, 6 months in, and it's not going how they thought it would. What's a bit of advice from your personal experience? Like, how did you get back on the horse and just say, right, I'm going to reset, I'm going to go again? Like, what kind of motivation was it?
Well, first of all, I don't think I ever got off the horse because it was like, all right, this horse is taking off and it's not listening to me, but I'm not giving up. I mean, that's the first thing, you know, I just took time to regroup. It's like, okay, step back, take a breath. Let's just start from the beginning and relook at these things, you know, and, it was really looking at that backtesting process as a real step-by-step full process that I was really vested in. And I tried not to have, paralysis by analysis, that I'd set a goal and I'd say like, okay, I'm going to look for a C1 and I'm going to test. As soon as I get a C1 that gives me 60% win rate or better, I'm going to stop testing C1 for now, and I'm going to go look at the next one. And then if I get any increase, you know, like I can better it, stop,
go look at the next one until you put all the pieces together and you have something that's performing. Because if not, I could be like, oh, well, it's only like, a 3% increase. Nah, I can do better than that. Going on and on and on.
Yeah. No, I get that. That's good advice. And I guess it's like to be quite, like you've got to be systematic as well. Like you have a plan, like you said, like find that C1 when it hits that metric that you're looking for, keep it and move on and add the next C2 to it and kind of like do it systematically, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The other thing that I will say is, even though I am forward testing now a whole algorithm like on YouTube and kind of, doing updates and things, I continue to back test other things, because hey, we trade the daily chart, I have to get my Forex fix, so I continue to back test.
I always say that's the professional element of trading no nonsense Forex professionally. It's not about the half an hour that you sit in front of the screen at the end of the candle. It's like, okay, so you've got that thing now. How do you constantly keep improving it? How do you look for other things? So I just have a simple thing where I just use an EA and I just test one indicator every day. It takes me 10 minutes. Literally just jump on. First thing I do, jump on, give it a test, bosh, done. And then just leave it, and that's my commitment to moving forward with everything rather than being quite a bit stale,
I love that. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I get up every morning before work and I spend, an hour or two just going through the charts, just slap an indicator on and eyeball it. And if I like the look of it, just put it in a little folder somewhere. I come home, especially now here in the UK, our winters are long, dark and miserable. It's perfect time to just find something to do and just test just test algorithms, test indicators, test it all. But I guess now to move on then, so like you've said how you got back on it. Now I know that you've got a couple of Achilles heels, right?
Oh yes. A couple.
now this is the bit where you're in trouble now, because we're going to ask you about a couple of them and how you're getting on with like trying to get over that. So your first one is trading news. Talk to me. Tell me.
So again, academically, it's really easy. Okay, you look at the news. If within the next day, major news, according to what VP told us to look for, is coming out, you don't trade. Easy, right? For the life of me, it's like I get so excited when I'm in there looking at the charts that the next thing I know, I'm clicking buy, and it's like, oh shoot, I forgot to look at the news, and then we find out, oh, there's a news happening tomorrow or later even that day. So it is. I actually put together like my own little news cheat sheet, which now I have like this whiteboard and I have it plastered up there and it's like right next to me. So before I do anything, I'm like, looking over there. Can I do this? And even with that, honestly, I'm not perfect at it. It's harder than it sounds to do.
So one thing that I use is that I'm a bit like you. I would lose sort of track of what's going on and whatever. So I have the most detailed like tick sheet in the world. So before I put a trade on, like literally, so it'll be like, has C1 flipped? Yes. Does my C2 agree with me? Yes. Like, and it's stuff that but sometimes that can, just having that methodology of being like, right, okay, is this line above this line? Is this? And you're sort of going, yeah, I know it is, but I'm just going to methodically work through. And then what I'll say is it's like, if it's a USD pair, it's like, right, are any of these news events occurring? Are none of these events not occurring in the next 24 hours? Yes. So then you can sort of like, you can't then, and it's only when all the ticks on the sheet are lined up that it says, can you place the trade? Yes, off you go, kind of thing. So that is so cool. That's like a pilot's checklist. Yeah.
The things that pilots do, they check off the simplest things just to make sure, they have it right.
Literally took the words out of my mouth. I was just about to say, it's no different to a pilot. They sit in there, they go through the check sheet. I think when I was in my penny...
I am a pilot, mate. I've got a pilot license, yeah.
Yeah, you put it off eBay.
Printed.
I found with so when I was in my penny stocking days, there was a guy on there that taught penny stocks, and he called it a pre-flight checklist. So on there, you would plot, like with penny stocks, you'd plot where resistance was, where your next support is, and you'd have like Josh just said, just this detailed box that you would just go through, and that's like your blueprint for that trading day. Same thing though. I mean, I'm guilty now, so I was saying to Josh just before this, it's almost like I don't even think about it anymore. I just go through everything so methodically. I find it quite good. But going back to your news, the whole thing with news is quite difficult. I was in Aussie dollar CAD, and I got out for a really small win yesterday because there was news on the CAD today. And I look at it now, and it's gone back in my favor. So if that now goes on to run in a big trend, when you look back on that on a back test, if you're not back testing properly and you're not finding out if there was a news event as you took that trade, then you're going to note that down as a massive win that you took when it never really was, because if you're following news, so I guess that kind of throws into like how thorough your back testing should be really to make your algorithm and your forward testing effective, right?
Yeah, because it cuts both ways too. You could have news that hurts you a lot, and you might not have picked that up in your back test if you weren't back testing with news. Yeah, I'll tell you, we're talking about Achilles heels. Another one of my Achilles heels is the 1 ATR rule. Oh my gosh, it's like, how hard is that? But it's hard for me. It's like I don't want to look, because I don't want it to be more than 1 ATR, because I want to take that trade.
Yeah, that's tough as well, because like, I mean, I have it where I might be like one pip over like the ATR rule, and I'll literally like readjust where I've drawn my ATR from to try and and I know that I'm doing it, but now I'm at that point where I don't take it, because it doesn't matter whether it's 1, 10 or 100 away. Where does it stop? So you've got to be so cut and dry on that, right?
I'll tell you though, in some of my back tests, I did actually back test 1.5 ATR or 1.25 ATR as well. And so it really, it depends on what's going to work with the rest of your algo. And, to be a purist, of course, it's 1 ATR, but don't be afraid to back test things to see what's going to better fit with how you're putting your algo together.
It's a good point. I'll tell you what, again, because I don't trust myself, and I'll do all the things that Sam just mentioned, drawing things differently, and I'll want to take the trade. I have the ATR bands on my baseline. Yeah. So the baseline I've got has got those physical ones on there, so you can just see plain as day. It's like, no, Josh, you're being an idiot. It's clearly outside of that. Let it go. And it pains me, but I think it's a really important risk tool, that one.
Well, it just goes to show you that using your tools properly is probably one of the biggest hints. Like if there's something out there that can help you be successful, by all means, use it.
Yeah. I think just like you say, I think it's really difficult because with the ATR rule and things like news as well, I always find psychologically looking at a chart, a long move sideways and up normally isn't as much as you think it is when you look at a move that straight down takes out your stop loss. Now, so what I'm saying is when you're in a nice long trend for like a couple of weeks, it looks fantastic on the chart. But actually, if you were to measure it straight up, it's not that far as what you think it is.
Amount of pips,
yeah, it just looks better because it's over a longer period of time, and it's like a lovely little equity curve going up. Whereas if you actually just measured that, that's the same as actually being stopped out at 1.5 ATR loss. But that doesn't become as showy to you, because all we really want to see is when we're winning, not when we're losing. So like there is a whole psychology thing about like how things look on your screen and everything, Yep.
Yeah. It is. It is, especially when you start bringing exit indicators into play. Because you're following this up and it looks so wonderful, and then all of a sudden your exit indicator hits and it's like you've gone from that to that.
Yeah, that's difficult as well. I find it hard as well. When you're in profit, but you're not quite at 1 times ATR, and you're like, I really want to take my profit off the table now. And And you might even get out of that trade at a loss, like a slight loss, because your exit indicator gets you out too late or whatever. But you know deep down it's in your best interest to leave that trade open and just listen to what your algorithm's telling you.
Yeah, it's because it's the consistency part of it. You can't back test those gut feelings.
No, exactly.
Yeah, no, that's it.
That's why we always say you can't back test price action and things like that, because I defy anyone to say they've back tested price action, because it's like, okay, well, what do you mean by that? How have you back tested this? So you're telling me you've gone on something like Soft 4FX, for example, and sort of like tapped through and been like, oh, okay, yeah, I would have definitely taken this here, or, you know, done this, that, and that. It's just rubbish. You wouldn't have done. So, you know, I think our methodology is easily the kind of, you know, the most tangibly able to be back tested kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helps with those mood swings too, and your state of mind, because it gives you clear cut yes or no. Where if price action could be like, how are you feeling that day? Are you feeling more optimistic? Yeah. How do you could read the same price action differently.
I completely agree. It's very subjectable when you're testing you know, an algorithm, because it's there or it's not. It's not about how you feel, I guess. Pretty cool. I guess then, JJ, it's been a really good chat. Like, I love the thing. So discipline-wise, moving forward, you're going to keep up with the YouTube channel?
I am. Just because, like I said, I just love the connection from it.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's one of those things that has just helped invigorate me. Every once in a while, you will deal with the odd comment that kind of pings a little, you know, but that's okay. I'm confident I know who I am, and, you know, the trolls aren't going to bring me down. But I you know, rather than try to put pressure on myself, because then it almost became like a job. Oh, I've got to make a video every single day as I do these trades. I'm going to be doing more like recaps, like weekly recaps, and maybe once or twice during the week if I open a new trade. And continue to do things like little hint type videos, because that seems to be what a lot of people like, and they ask for things like that. And it surprises me, because I kind of assume people at a certain level, you know, like they've followed VP and they're kind of at a level, but I see that there's a wide range of experience and, you know, knowledge out there. So if I can help somebody, you know, with simple things too, I will.
So on that note then, and to wrap up the interview, what we ask everyone, all of our guests that come on the show, is to give us 3 top tips or hints or just the things that you want to say to anyone else who is a trader that you've learned. 3
top tips. Well, the first one I'd say is just keep learning. Never stop learning and improving, you know, because that's just going to keep you connected and invigorated as well. So that would be my first tip. Second tip is try to find some kind of support in community, you know, whether that's a YouTube community or it's a Facebook community or Discord community. That was really helpful for me. Didn't feel so alone out there, as I said before. And, you know, and these are more kind of like ethereal, but stay positive. You know, we're all going to have bad days. We're not going to be perfect traders, but, you know, a negative mindset can really submarine you. So that would be it. You know, keep learning, find your community, and stay positive.
I love that. I guess the stay positive thing as well. It's like, you've got to cut yourself some slack with it all as well, because I mean, you look at the stats when you go onto any kind of broker page. One says 75, 80. I heard now it's up to like 90. You're going into a business where like 90% of people fail at it. It's a difficult thing to do, but it's completely worth going for it. And as long as you can stay positive, as long as you just keep learning, like you said, you know, it's a game that can be beatable, and you can get in it and stay in it for a long time.
Hopefully.
Well, well, I guess that wraps everything up pretty well, JJ. Like I said, we appreciate you coming on. You know, you're a guest that we really wanted to get on for sure. We want to get people to know you and that, and know who JJTrader is. I guess, is there any other points that we've missed or anything else you want to cover? Anything for us?
I don't think so. I think the big takeaway that I have found through this whole experience is it doesn't matter who you are or where you come from or what kind of knowledge you have. If you just dig in, you can do this. You know, you can learn. I really appreciate you guys asking me to be on. I have to say it was so much fun, and I love seeing your faces and getting to know you more personally.
Absolutely, and the same goes for you.
Yeah. What we'll do, we'll have to schedule in a catch up with you in like 6 months or a year's time.
Yes, when I'm a millionaire.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I've got a Lambo, so I can help you buy yours. You know, so it's no problem.
Yeah, that's it, man. No, all right. Well, listen, JJ, from me, I just want to say thanks for coming on the show. Best of luck with everything that goes on in the future with Forex and in life. And yeah, just keep putting out them YouTube videos. Keep plowing away with the trading, and I'm sure like you're definitely going to get there. So thank you very much for coming on our show and being a guest with Not Another Trading Pod.
Excellent. Thank you, JJ.
You're welcome.
I'm so